Hello everyone, I'm the Mad Hatter 92 and welcome back. Halloween's right around the corner, just gotta make it to next Friday, and I got some good news. I got my 3-day weekend for next week. I got a doctor's appointment relatively early on Halloween, but early, so that's pretty good. Then I have the rest of the day to do what I want. Not too much going on after that, honestly. Maybe a few things here and there, do some tidying up. Costume's all ready to go, I just gotta get that laid out and taken care of. But I'm very excited for that. Get another 3-day weekend. I have one this week too. It's my last day, and then go into it again next week. It's kind of nice. I rarely get a 3-day weekend, and it's different times. Change, help out, lack of help out, all that. But I'll definitely welcome a 3-day weekend next week. But I might mention this video too about some other movies and stuff I like watching during Halloween. I might mention that, but I might not. Well, I want to talk about candy. Like growing up when I was trick-or-treating, the stuff I enjoyed then and now, it's obviously different. Sometimes it just changes your taste and preferences. When I was a kid, and this still holds up today, I obviously don't go trick-or-treating, but I'm gonna go with my niece and nephew on Friday. But when I was a kid, and to this day I still do, Dots candy. I mean, like, come on. Dots candy, mellow cream pumpkins, candy corn, autumn mix, wax lips, the fangs and things like that. There's obviously a market for it because they're still making them, but why? Every time I think of Dots candy, whether I see it or I just I think of it, I always think of that episode Ed and Eddie, the Friendship Day, and Rolf was just eating that candy like it's water. It's nasty. Even Kevin says, those jujus will rot your teeth, dude. I'm like, ugh. Not only they're horrible in texture and taste and aroma, I mean, to each their own. I mean, it's fine if you like them, but oh my god. Just nasty. I mean, candy corn's not much better either, or the autumn mix with mellow cream pumpkins. Waxy, cloyingly sweet, terrible. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if you like them, that's all well and good. But yeah, to this day, I still don't like those candies, obviously. But when I was a kid, I used to like, actually Twizzlers a little bit. I didn't used to do too much licorice back in the day. But even now, I don't do licorice. It's very rare that I do. And if I do, it's usually just red vines. But even then, it's quite a rare commodity that I'll actually go out of my way and have licorice. I think the last time I had licorice was when I was at a theater. Not when I saw Joker last, but I think it was before that. What I used to do, especially during middle school, I'd take the red vines, put it in my cherry Coke at the theater, and use it as a straw. Drink it through, and when I was done, just have it like that. But not so much anymore. I haven't had licorice in years. Peanut butter cups are probably my always go-to when I was growing up as a kid. Reese's peanut butter cups, Reese's Pieces, Nutrageous, Reese's Sticks, Kit Kat bars, and used to like regular Hershey's chocolate quite a bit. Not so much now. I'm not a fan of Hershey's chocolate. I mean, so to speak, like plain Hershey's chocolate, not a fan of. With the almonds, it's okay, but the almonds add a little crunch and a little bit of texture, which I like. But I just don't like plain Jane Hershey's chocolate. It's too sweet, and I don't like the aroma either. I know that might be weird to say, but I just don't like the smell of it either. But yeah, chocolate's always really good. White chocolate, again, very, very little times I like it. I haven't tried Linden chocolate in forever, so maybe I should try that sometime. But Nestle White Crunch Bar is probably the best one I had growing up, but that was very limited release. But when I did get it on Halloween, that was quite rare, and I always liked it. That one was limited. Fast break bars. Now, it's funny, the other day when I was out and about, some places are already selling Halloween candy on clearance, making way for, Thanksgiving merchandise and Christmas candy and stuff like that. That's consumerism for you, but anyway, I bought a couple bags, and those bags will last me a long time. Just the bite-sized, variety pack and things like that. I tried a fast break, and I don't know what it was. Maybe they changed the formula. I wouldn't be surprised. How they do that sometimes, whether it comes certain drinks, snacks, anything between, sometimes they just change it up. I don't know, they may have not, or just may have been such a long time since I had one, but I actually enjoyed it. Last time I had it was probably when I was in, I want to say, middle school. I didn't like it. I mean, the nougat was kind of odd. The texture of the nougat was weird. But I had one yesterday, and honestly, to me, it reminded me of a Nutrageous bar without the peanuts in it, and it was not bad. I was pleasantly surprised. But my top 5 candies probably when I was trick-or-treating growing up were Kit Kat bars, peanut butter cups, Nutrageous, Reese's Stick, and Nestle Crunch. I know it's not crazy to some, but I was also looking up recently some of the worst candies of all time, And of course, it's going to change, whether it be article or magazine or Google, what have you. I looked it up, quite a few of them. This was about, I don't know, maybe a month ago. And it all comes down to preference. But how the heck does Nestle Crunch end up on one of the worst candies for Halloween? That's beyond me. I mean, I like it. I have the rice, the nice texture of it, good chocolate. I like them. But to each their own. But I'm like, how does that make it on there? And Dots wasn't on there. I'm sure it was, but when I looked at that one list, it wasn't on there. I'm like, how is that possible? Dots not being on the worst list of candies to get for Halloween. It's beyond me. But no, it was a good time. And of course, just like I mentioned in one of my other videos, when I came back trick-or-treating, I did better than other times. Like sometimes I got almost a full pillowcase, and other times not so much. And always check the candy, as parents should do, or anything else. Always check your candy just to be safe, And some candies, there's probably multiple lists on Google, or look it up. Certain candies you should not let your children eat, obviously. Not only due to allergens, but possible safety hazards. I mean, you just never know. But yeah, they always inspected our candy. And I remember my folks, too, after inspecting said candy, all the bad stuff they threw out and some of the good stuff. It was always kind of like not a toll they have to pay, and we have to pay for inspecting our candy, but they always take some. I was like, it's fine. I wasn't mad about it. I was like, just don't take my peanut butter cups. That's all I asked. But they did inevitably take a few of those, but it's okay. But really good times with that. And my God, just to take just one. I remember a couple houses, like, what kid does that, honestly? Just take one. And I remember in my neighborhood once, there were these, they were almost like Smarties. I don't like Smarties. I ate them a little bit when I was in elementary, but not so much anymore. Haven't had them in years. They were like these Power Ranger themed, like, knockoff Smarties, I guess. The packaging was neat, but they were gritty. They reminded me of the conversation hearts you get on Valentine's Day. That's what they tasted like. I'm like, ew. They're small and flat like Smarties, but they taste just like the hearts for Valentine's Day. They were awful. That was one of the candies I remember, just because of the packaging. That was pretty cool, but other than that, nasty. And when it came to the neighborhood, sometimes they go off the beaten path. Me, my brother, and my sister would go to different places, hit our neighborhood, and then we go over to like 2 other blocks, and then one other entirely. And sometimes we made out really good, and other times, if we didn't meet the score we wanted to get for said Halloween, our folks would go to like a CVS or 7-Eleven, just get us a few more bags of candy. Not like giant bags. I did get that one bag before when I had that cyst removed on my head. I couldn't do much trick-or-treating. Honestly, I was fine, but my mom was a little adamant about me not going overboard. But it is what it is. But other times, just get us a couple, bags of M&Ms or whatever we wanted, just in case we didn't get all we wanted. And we were relatively disciplined, too. I mean, even back then, like, suppose back then to now how I am with food, I was never a sugar junkie, honest to God. Like, I like my sweets, but I was never, a candy fiend. I wasn't constantly drinking soda all the time. I did drink soda a lot when I was in elementary, and especially in middle school. Hardly now, thank goodness. But no, I wasn't a total sugar jockey back in the day. Even to this day, not so much now. Well, hardly anyway. I do like dark chocolate and a few other things, but moderation, just like everything. But I was disciplined. I wasn't constantly having the candy, and that candy would last me, I want to say about 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks if I really rationed it out well. How much I got for Halloween, made pretty good. But times are so different now, and a lot of people just aren't doing it due to the pricing. I'm not going to touch that with a 20-foot pole about the lackluster of help out everywhere, the price inflation, etc., etc. I'm not going to dwell on that. The world's already negative enough. I'm not going to brush up on it myself and remind you of all either, so not doing that. But yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people aren't doing it now, It's just the way it is. But anyway, like, people's got to be safe. Always have your safe routes with your children. Be careful. A lot of weirdos out and about. That's a given any time of the day, anywhere you are, the harsh reality of it all. But especially on Halloween, just be extra careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Always check your candy. Be safe. And always have a good time. And what I will bring up a movie I like watching during Halloween now. Probably my number one I like watching every Halloween or just this month. If you can watch it in the native language, I highly recommend you do it. I have watched it in a dub, but it was awful. And there's a whole dubs versus sub debacle, whether it be anime or shows or anything in between. Sometimes I don't mind reading the subtitles at all, but sometimes I just need background noise. I'll just have it in English and what that. But with Troll Hunter, no, watch it in the native Norwegian language, because when I had the English dub, I'm sure there's been different alterations of it. The one I watched, I believe, was on Tubi, and that was the English dub. And weirdly enough, that was only available in the English dub. You couldn't listen to the native language. But no disrespect to the actors, but just like, wow, sometimes the dubbing can be really bad, and this is one of those instances where it was. But Troll Hunter is very, very good. I definitely recommend watching that. It's reminiscent of, Blair Witch Project, of course, Cloverfield. It's really solid. I can't help but recommend it every October, and I watch it every October. I actually haven't done that yet, so I gotta see what it's on. And fortunately, if it is on Tubi and it's in that awful dub, I will give it a watch, but I'll try to see what other options I have. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell that you know I've uploaded. Thank you all so much for watching. I tip my hat to you all. Take care, my dreams.